Wholeness, wholeness, wholeness. Just wanted to come in real fast, man, so I can just give y'all some good, communication, man. Like, I know right now, man, listen, I'm coming at everybody real right now. Because you know something? It's when we don't know how to actually let all our defenses down and drop our egos, we can't never communicate and keep it real, right? We can't never come to a resolution to anything because everybody's ego is always in the way. But because we don't know how to identify what the ego is or when it's actually the ego present or how to discern discern the distinction between our conscious mind, our subconscious mind, which has been hacked and now is more of an instinctual mind based upon the patterns of your emotional pain that we've experienced, right? And that's even a long story. So I'm gonna go into, just to keep it flowing. But my whole thing, man, is you see what I'm saying? What I mean is, if y'all not paying attention, man, and I mean, don't get it wrong, some people are just really more so caught up inside of what they got going on in a day-to-day reality. Meaning, everybody caught up trying to impress somebody else. So we spend most of our time either trying to figure out a way to make ourselves more acceptable, more socially acceptable to people, or the people that we are more close to, or the people that we're actually just trying to appeal to. How about that? But it causes us to mask who we really is, man. It's like, even when you communicate with people, man, like it takes a whole lot to get people to disarm their defense so that a real conversation can take place. Real spiritual building, real soul building. Because everybody say that this is what they do. But in reality, we're using our emotional body or our pain body to have real communications. But see, we don't know how to discern what a real communication is or what our pain body is. So we just get caught up inside of the moment. And next thing you know, listen, it's me too. I do it too. Like, what I consider as the ego is also being sprayed into the reality the same way the consciousness that's being sprayed into this reality is being sprayed here. Because what we are actually experiencing inside of what we call life or reality anyway is a hacked grid, a network of universal energy collapsed onto itself to where now it is a finite form of energy. You see what I'm saying? Not infinite, but finite. But we don't understand it's a long story behind that. I don't want to go too far into any of the other fields besides what I really want to talk about. But I really want to just introduce the me to the conversation that's most appropriate for you to understand what I'm trying to get you to see. Because we're the only ones with the power to actually change anything. But because we don't understand the power that we have, we'll continue to wait for or look for some type of a savior. And we're looking for the type of savior to come and save us that they created this entire martyr or mythological story about. And they sold it to us because instead of taking the chance to stand up together, not divided, put your ego down. It's okay. We all got pain. We all suffering. In fact, most of us that's angry. Most of us that's mad. Most of us that's real secluse. Like everything that you see people adopt as characteristics are literally results of the information that is stored up inside the memory of their pain body. And what memory is stored up inside of your pain body is not just connected to emotional differences or frequencies that you experienced inside of this life. These things are built up inside of the consciousness that is used as the template to design these physical bodies. Because the physical body itself is just a geometry. It's a geometrical shape, right? A phi-based geometrical shape, which itself is another long story. So what I want you to do, like I'm saying, I'm just trying to get you to gain a better understanding of how to actually come together so that we can fix this, because it's just getting worse. And we complain about it, but we don't have to complain about it. We're smarter than they want us to think that we are. In fact, we're so smart that we're unconsciously designing the system that these select rulers are using to oppress us and rule over us. Meaning, you go to work, somebody offered you this because they told you you had to work to be here. And then you go to buy food to live with the money you just want to work for. Right? But the food you buy is designed to kill you. Because whether you know it or not, many of the things that you are eating are not just being injected with different things, but they're literally chemicals that are designed out of certain things. And if you've never heard of like how nanotechnology and things like this work, you wouldn't understand that these microscopic particles are encoded with DNA configuration information. Meaning that when these things go into your body, they start to cause the cells to respond to them, the signals. That's what the cells in your body respond to. Now, the cells in your body are responsible for everything that's taking place here. So now when the cells are starting to respond to the signals that are being introduced unconsciously to the body, we get these disconnected, emotional, imbalanced states. Because now we're being controlled by and ruled by the information that is being used to configure the information or configure the reality. And that specific information has been hacked. Another reason why we say you have to use the heart chakra, the heart, because the crown chakra has already been hacked. It's already been invaded. Now, heart, which is the magnetism, which is that feminine energy. When your brain, which is the electricity, which is the masculine energy, they produce or create, right? The yin and the yang, they coalesce, right? Interweave like sexual nature, like planets. How do you think universes are born? Coalescence of polar opposite energies, right? Not one canceling out the other, but total coalescence, right? A semi-existence. And I know there's better words for it, but just follow me. Because I only want you to understand that what you perceive as your ego or your personality is really just something that's being sprayed into your conscience. And then by them actually giving us things like the TVs and the songs and all of these different things that we mimic and idolize our realities after, they're just other ways that are used to hack and control the direction of your imagination or your perception. Because perception is reality. Right? Now, the reason I want you to get that is because now we will be able to have a total conversation, meaning that you won't have to look at me as either gangster or soft. You won't have to either judge me. You can just listen to the message that I give you and allow that message to Okay, my fault. I had see what's up with my call. It's down. But what I'm coming at you with like this, listen, man. Everybody's so caught up inside of the reality right now, man, that really we start to turn on everybody that's close to us. Because why? We greedy. We greedy. We don't want to share nothing. We don't want to share energy. We don't want to share the spotlight. We don't want to share money. We don't want to help each other get nothing. Because why? We want it all for self. And if it means that, even if getting it for self means helping somebody else, a majority of us would rather just we'll try our luck on our own. Even if most of us never even fucking make it, we'll try our luck on our own. Now, this is why you got us inside of the state that we are in. Now, they divided us, man. They divided us in races. They divided us using languages. They divided us inside of hoods and communities and cities and states and what you like and what they don't like. So like we're just divided amongst everything, and every division has more divisions hidden inside of it. It's like every fucking division has a fractal of divisions. It's like it's all fractality I see. But when you gain a clearer understanding of what I'm trying to show you right now is, man, I just want you to see how important and how imperative it is for us to take a step back and look at how we treat the people that came before us and the people that are coming behind us. Not to mention the people that are here with us right now. One, the veterans. Hell, most of the veterans or most of the homeless people that's out here right now are the veterans. These are the people that your government sent over here to go to war for their own selfish agenda. They lie to you. They create these bullshit stories telling you that somebody else is a threat to your existence so that there's a reason to enforce or create more security. Meanwhile, that's the overplay for underlay. They have to create the scare tactic story so that they can get away with what they're doing behind the scene. It's like the shadow government is operating behind the scene while they have the puppets and the puppeteers masquerading out in front of you. Everybody's in cahoots. Everybody understands what's taking place by the time they make it to that arena. Nobody is blind to what the fuck is going on right now. You have to understand what it takes, the type of focus, ingenuity, the type of education, the type of learning and skill it takes to go from nothing to that type of a status, man. This shit don't just happen. You see what I'm saying now? It can just happen to other politicians and billionaires and millionaires. Why? Because they already have a set way of thinking. They already have a successful model instilled inside of their original vocab. You see what I'm saying? Your shit is just, you're trying to figure out how to hack your consciousness in your auric field so that you can actually project more of you into the reality. Some of y'all don't know that that's what you're trying to do, but that's what you're trying to do. Some of us know that that's what you're trying to do, have learned how to do it, figured this shit out, and we're doing it. Now, it's not saying that we're better than everybody, because we're not. And we need everybody to do this. Because when everybody do this, it's like as we come together connecting, building those bridges, we'll be able to block out what's oppressing us, what's ruling over us. Now we'll be able to build a network or a market between ourselves. We don't have to depend on this frivolous shit they give us, these bullshit currencies and things like this. We don't. And it causes us to turn against each other and to leave each other all stranded out there in the cold because everybody start listening to this me against the world shit. Now, I'm not knocking Pac. I love that, Joe, but it ain't you against the world, whether you know it or not, because all is self. And when you start to imagine that as you against the world, that means now you have been totally disconnected from what you what you really are. You are only identifying with and associating with your physical experiences in this reality now. You don't even understand the magnificence of the being that you are that is projecting holographically this little being that you call, Jack, Dynamo Jack, or whoever, whatever, right? Whatever your name is. I just want you to gain an understanding because we have to come back together like this now. And this is the reason they got out of our communities all of the most important brothers and sisters that was in our communities that knew how to unite the brothers and the sisters. Because why? Together we stand, divided we fall, right? They knew that we would ever come together. And you got all of these religious leaders and spiritual leaders and even like Farrakhan and all of these brothers, bro. Listen, man, they know what they're doing. They know that these religions, like they're using these religions because every exoteric religion has an esoteric religion to it too. Like Islam, that's exoteric. Sufism is esoteric, right? Now, the Kabbalah is esoteric. Judaism is exoteric. So what I'm showing you is all of this shit that they're using to parade out in front of you, they're using it because by you believing in these very things, these very ideas, the very fact that you entertain them as issues, or the very fact that you entertain them at all inside of your consciousness, means that you are still yet just that far away from the reality or the actuality. Like you're still caught up inside of these different things. You see what I'm saying? When you really don't have to be. Like inside of where we are right now, it's time for us to come together, come back together. Because it was when we was all together, when we was not divided, when we was not at war, when we was not beefing, when our queens were not flexing on each other for each other's man and trying to outshine the next queen, and the kings wasn't out here competing for the next buck, but we was sharing the load. Everybody ate. Now, yeah, I can see if I was just some ordinary Joe Schmo broke ass nigga with nothing that was sitting here explaining this shit to you. No, it's quite the opposite. Because this is what I'm trying to show you, that see, when I came into the realization that my thing was to make as much money as I could so that I can help everybody that I could that was hurting. Because I understood, man, that and it used to hurt me when I saw people hurting. So like when I see all of these homeless people out here right now, man, whether you know it or not, yeah, all of them ain't there because they fucked over everybody or burnt their bridges. And all of them ain't there because they consciously did these things. Because whether you know it or not, man, this is the reason we say, break out of judging people, places, and things. Everybody dead, locked, and fixed on just wanting to judge somebody or something. Right? Because why? As long as our attention is torn in so many different directions, and we're investing all of our energy into those different directions or different meaningless ass things, then that's less of us, less of our attention as a collective whole that we have to invest into ourselves or into something else that will make us better, that will bring us closer together. Because right now, why do you think that we're like inside of the state that we're in? It's like everybody running around in reality, willing to kill each other, starving, hungry for attention, for likes, for some. Listen, these niggas willing to tell on themselves on Facebook just to get you to like their picture. And they don't care how many people they see go to jail for this shit. They'll still do it because they need you. That lets you know that you was not designed to exist alone. But now, why are we making each other compete for our attention and our love and our affection in this way? We shouldn't have to compete like this. We're doing this to each other. And meanwhile, we're blaming everybody else because they introduced their ideological concepts into our realities and we chose them. Now, I'm saying this shit because you got to also understand, man, that the homeless people are the veterans. And we ain't doing nothing. These people fought for us to be here, man. And look how they got done. You got the veterans out here right now, nigga. They got to beg for stuff. They got to beg for money. Like the government ain't even giving them the shit that they want. And then if they want some medical treatment, they got to go and let these people shoot them up with all kind of shit that they know shutting their nervous system down. Like, whether you know it or not, that's all these pharmaceutical companies actually do. And they just bribe the doctors, right? That new boat your doctor got, that's because he was able to get you prescribed on some medicine. That nice school your doctor's children go to, that's because you paid for some medicine. Like, you don't just get no real money from just being there as a doctor. He gonna make some money, but not no real money. That real money came from getting his own practice, getting as many people on these different medicines as possible, because the pharmaceutical industries, they need that to exist. And that's their end game, the doctors. And they'll do anything to get them to just, hey, come on, man, just put them on the meds. But that's what they're doing to you. This is what they're doing to your child, right? When you come out the womb, they clip that umbilical cord. When they clip that umbilical cord, and you're born under a halogen light system, then they take you away from the mother and like all of these different things, man. And then they put you on this Similac and all of this stuff right here, right? With all of these different ions and metals inside of your body that's really just fucking up your nervous system. That's really just shutting down your, going up into your brain and the rest of your body and lodging itself into your neural pathways and shit like this right here. Why? Because it causes a refraction of that light, that interference, right? Because now you can't even see or process the reality the way it's supposed to be, because there's too many different things that's actually causing that electricity that shoots through your body, that's consciousness, that's solar energy, to have a straight circulatory path. It's just hitting everything. It's just going crazy. So now, out of all of that craziness, this is just what you get. A crazy reality. And nobody understands. Like, we're so caught up inside of the moment that we think what we're experiencing is the way things just are. We would never understand in a million years that no, we're creating the reality that we're experiencing by the thoughts. The thoughts are created by the things that we're introducing into our circulatory system, into our system. Your skin is the largest cell membrane on the body. Your pores are portals. That means that when your pores open up, anything that is going inside of your pores, that's your portals. These portals are entryways into your body, into your biosphere. So whatever is getting into that, this is the reason they're shooting all this shit in the sky, and just, it's so much taking place that you just actually have to start learning, man, that you will be able to gain more leverage in the reality and less depression and like less conflicting factors. Now, don't get it wrong. And like when people get this caught up with this old conscious stuff, like, hey, listen, man, I don't know what you be meaning when y'all say conscious. You conscious folk. Hey, listen, man, everything breathing is conscious, man. Every cat, dog, insect, animal, if it's alive, it's conscious. The trees are conscious. The rocks outside are conscious. These are all sentient life forms. Now, you don't talk about scientists like that. So, like, just understand, we're not some type of segregated group of people like we're aliens or elves or something. No, we're just people like you that read. We don't just look at the news and we don't chase the shit that they put in front of us. We go and study the shit that they're not showing us. Why is it so important to hide these things or to create these allegorical stories to mask these things? That's what we're doing. Studying that. Taking the time out to actually gain a better understanding of what consciousness is. What are thoughts made of? Where do they go? Where do we come from? Where do we go when we die? What are dimensional frequencies? What are planetary networks? What are logos? These are the different things that we're discovering so that you will know, or not discovering, right? Rediscovering so that you will know what the people that are ruling and controlling your reality learned before they were able to build the type of reality that you are imprisoned in. You don't even know that what you believe in has been taught to you to believe in it, because it is the very substance that is creating your reality, the good and the bad. But outside of that cultural or that jurisdiction, people think, see, feel, and believe in different things. And just the very nature or fact that you have so many different Abrahamic traditions or religions, you can see this. These are all Abrahamic traditions. Islam, Christianity, Catholicism, Buddhism, atheism, all of them are Abrahamic traditions. Abraham, which is Abraham or Abram in the Bible, is Abram in the Quran or the Quran, however the fuck they want to say it, man. And these religious people get you caught up inside of some of the most mundane shit. Because why? They want to feel prized that they have that religion and you don't. You don't understand it. Hey, listen, man, that language you're using to interpret that religion is also a language that existed before your religion existed. Your religion was created out of that language. The language wasn't created from your religion. So this is what I'm trying to show you. And it just gets us further into, because I don't want to get too sidetracked into it, that part either, because I want people to understand that. Oh yeah, and like I say, Abraham in Christianity, Abram, right, in Islam, is Brahm or Brahma in Buddhism. They're all the same person, man. They just have different interpretations, right? Because technically it's not even a real person. It's a martyr, a story that is being used to control the direction of the people's imagination, because they're controlling what you believe in. If we can control your mind through this religion, then we'll also be able to control the extent of your ability to reach for the stars. Like, you will always believe in something to a certain degree, right? Like, for instance, we believe that these beings or deities that they're serving us, right, are the tell-all, end-all, like the everything, but really they're just stories. They're archons, archetypes. They have been created or brought here during this Luciferian rebellion, goddammit, of this certain star system, this certain bloodline of beings that came here. I don't want to even get into all of that, because that'll start a whole nother topic of discussion. But it will be coming out, though. You see what I'm saying? Now, prisoners. You got family in prison. Listen, I'm going to tell you a personal experience so you will know for a fact that I am not playing about this. I literally just got into a conversation with not just the prison, but the Department of Corrections head. Because now, I don't know if y'all ever been to jail. Some people have been to prison. Some people got family in prison. If you got family in prison, bro, don't X your family out because they in prison, out of sight, out of mind. That's some shit somebody taught us to believe in. We say that shit so we believe in it. Like I'm trying to tell you, I'm finna show you. Slavery ain't real, but it's finna become real. Now, I know a lot of people gonna say, what the hell you mean slavery? Hey, listen, man. I'm finished. Hey, it's coming. It's coming out. All of this shit is coming out. Oppression was real. Slavery, no. It's coming out. All of this information is coming out. And in actuality, if y'all don't know, check out my bro, Seven Bomar, bro. He put that shit out in the mud flood. Or like, just not just that, man. It's been just a plethora of information being spilled forward to show everybody, man, this is how they've been doing this shit, and this is what they're doing. We got to come back out of it now, right? Like, it's like they've been doing us like this. Now we got to come back out of it. You see what I'm saying? Just come back out of it. That's all. But anyway, I just got off the phone with these people because inside of Danville Correctional Center in Illinois, and I don't know if anybody got family inside of Danville Correctional Center, if you don't check on your people. Now, they had these big ass scares or like big ass experiences where, you know, people are being broken out with like SARS, staph, all types of other stuff, man. But I'm asking my brother, like, man, why is this shit so big down there? Like, what is you niggas not washing y'all ass or something? Excuse my language, but my brother say, no, bro. Now, my brother ain't no complainer. He ain't no crybaby in prison. The nigga been gone 30 fucking years, bro. He did about 15 years in TAM Super Maximum. So just imagine, he has already consciously ascended that part of being in jail. He only got about 5-6 years left now. So in the conversation, he was just breaking it down to me like, G, they don't let us clean this motherfucker. I said, well, what you mean they don't let y'all clean it, bro? He say when they bring us in clean, like to clean up, the mop buckets and all of this shit, they don't put no cleaning supplies out with it. He said, man, they stopped doing that shit years ago. Now, my brother been writing grievances about this shit. I've been telling him to. This is the reason I finally called. Now, listen, my brother's grievance stated to them, man, since I've been here in the last 3 years, there has not one officer been on the deck that offered us cleaning supplies to clean us, the cells or the showers or the phones. Because y'all know a lot of people are nasty, man. Like, you can go and use a phone after you just use the bathroom and not wash your hands and just start contaminating everything. And people do that. They use the bathroom and don't wash their hands, not realizing the germs or contaminants that they're transferring. Like when they tell you that, from feces or something like that, you can get hepatitis C and all of this, man. Listen, you're transferring parasites and larvae. You're transferring a lot more than just hepatitis. You see what I'm saying? Now, I'm just going to show you how this shit is happening and spreading like this. Being inside of this prison, now my brother filed a grievance. The prison refused him, and this is how they're going to automatically do you. Anybody ever been to the joint? You can vouch for this. The prison will, hey, I done been, man, listen, I done gave these people 18 years of my life, my nigga, in prison. You see what I'm saying? So I know what the fuck, like how they play you, Joe. So the way they doing is they shoot his grievance down. Now, when they shoot the nigga's grievance, got me. When they shoot the brother's grievance down, this is what they tell him. We're denying your grievance because you cannot identify, because he didn't specifically state what officer individually he didn't specifically identify what officer. This is the reason that they're denying him any relief. So the issue is not going to be corrected or fixed. Why? Because he didn't name every officer that has come into that unit in the last 3 years and deny them the opportunity to clean the housing unit. Do you see the game that they're creating or playing? But your family is in there, and you don't understand that this is just something small, because these are just not even in comparison. My brother I just had to help somebody else that was in that prison that he's in contact their family, because this brother is in there dying, and they won't allow him to contact or interact with his family. His family don't even know what's really going on with him. So right now they probably think that he just fine. Dan, he just don't feel like being bothered. And he just chilling. Right? But meanwhile, no, they've created a disconnection because they're bogus. Now, I had to reach out because my brother knows somebody that works over at the healthcare that know that my brother can communicate with the outside world because his family can make sure that he can. So they jammed on him. Like, man, and they cool. So I'm like, hell yeah. And I say, man, anything else them brothers up in there experiencing and need somebody else to stand up and speak for, bro? Yes. Let me know I'm with it, man. Because I know how those people will do you. I know how those people treat y'all. Illinois Department of Correction, no other Department of Corrections should ever be able to function as a privatized corporate entity. No. Because what they're doing is causing great, tremendous torture on your people. And if you understand the type of shit that they're